right, Sunday, the Jaguars travel, and Eric.
Yes.
You guys did not convince him not to go because he is a jinx. He's an away game jinx.
Not in 2019.
What did you see?
Minshew beat the Bengals.
Is that the only game you went to?
No, but it's the only win I've seen. I did my own research. I was like, there's no way I haven't seen one road game.
So is that your only road game?
Because I was getting pissed. I was like, I had to have seen one. But yes, that's my only one.
That is insane. You've been to so many. That is sad.
Since 2019. But remember the seasons? We were ass. This is a new season.
Well, yeah. So maybe it's not you. It's just,
because I literally started going to games when the Jags started being complete shit.
Yeah.
We won, 4 games last 2 seasons? So it ain't me. We're already halfway there. We have to win some of these away games now. It ain't me. Chill on that. Dead take.
The Jaguars absolutely shot up in power rankings this week. But this game, the Eagles favored by 7. It's the second largest spread of the weekend. Despite the Jaguars' back-to-back impressive performances, the Eagles are they look really good. They look like the top team in the NFC and probably they might be looking like the top team in the NFL.
Yes, for now. Through 3 weeks, yes.
That's all I have to go by.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you expect to see? Like you said before we got started, if the Jaguars go in there, do you want this game more than you wanted last week? No, right?
More than last week?
We wanted last week more, or do we want this week more?
We wanted last week pretty fucking bad. But
can you imagine if we get this week, the things that will be said?
I think we just have to go with what's reality at this point, because last year was like I didn't expect to even compete with Philly. Because now that we've seen the result against the Chargers, I'm like, we could beat Philly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We could beat Philly. Doug Peterson's been an excellent coach so far, and I think he has an excellent game plan prepared for the Eagles team. Like, he knows them, he's studied them, and I think we can compete with them. And I feel like shit because last week I said with confidence, I was like 27-21 Jags. Like, we keep it within the spread, but we lose. But we go out there and win 38-10. So what am I supposed to do now against the Eagles? Am I supposed to come out here as a Jags fan and be like the same thing last week and say, oh, Eagles again, this time 28-20? I can't do that because of what we did last week on the West Coast. We're staying east after the hurricane. We're going up on the same day. I'll meet you there, Jags, and I'm going to pick us. But we'll get to the picks after some more analysis of this game. Someone asked me, a Bengals fan asked me, he said, some people are calling Saturday's game against the Eagles, Sunday's game against the Eagles, the Gardner Minshew revenge game, not the Doug Peterson revenge game.
That's funny.
And he said
it could also be the Dave Caldwell revenge game.
Yeah. And he said, what do I have to say to those people who call it the Gardner Minshew revenge game? I say, K. That's all.
He's not going to play.
He's not even going to play. He's not even going to see the field probably. So that's irrelevant. But it's a revenge game for nobody because I watched Doug Peterson's press conference today. And like we mentioned on the pod earlier this week, or whenever it was, we were talking about how Doug Peterson is just a all business guy. And he's not worried about any of those other things that us or the media talks about when it comes to knowing players on the team, having been in that building. Doug Peterson doesn't care. He's like, I'm with the Jags now. I'm going to have my boys ready to prepare for this game, and we're going to go out there and we're going to compete just like we did in California. So after that press conference and hearing what he had to say about, coming out here against Philly, it's going to be – I think it's going to be like 60 degrees, might get a little rain, but it should be good weather. Jags are healthy again. Might have Shaq Griffin back out there, which might not be that great for us.
We've been very lucky this season. Sometimes that's what it takes, but the injuries, I don't know if no credit to Urban
Yeah.
But he did preach heavy on because he comes from college where they just treat their players like royalty. In terms of their health, I'm sure he kicks them.
Yeah.
But
they asked Doug Peterson if he's ever seen a team with this many zeros on the injury report.
Oh God, I don't like that. I don't like saying that in the building.
Yeah,
that's too much jinx.
And he said, "Nope, I haven't seen something like this before. So a lot of new things are happening in this building. But another new thing that's happening is we're playing the most agile quarterback we've played this season, Jalen Hurts. That's why I'm a little nervous. We've had Wentz, who's agile, more agile than Matt Ryan.
He's just hard to bring down.
Yeah. He's a young, big body. He's not afraid of contact. He'll run for 80 yards if he needs and wants to. So looking forward to seeing how our defense, who, if you guys consume any of these Jags mic'd up videos, you can see the heart that this defense is playing with and how energized and focused they are every single down.
I don't know how this happened so quickly.
I don't either. I'm still processing last week. I don't have enough time between Sundays to, if we're getting wins like this, I don't have enough time in between weeks to be like, holy shit, we just won this game. Now I have to talk about Philly now. I'm still wondering how we put up 38 on the Chargers because the Jags just put up a post-game video today, sounds of the game. So I had to relive it again, and I'm still like, how the fuck did this happen? Now we're here sitting talking about Philly, the best team in the NFC, and I have to think about how we're going to beat them, and if we do, how I'm going to process that.
Even Doug in the preseason said, or leading to the preseason said, that he emphasized many times that these kind of rebuilds, like he said in Philly, it took 2 years. Like these things take a couple years. It doesn't look to be, on last podcast, I told Austin Lane, one of my complaints is when people put a timeline on when a team's supposed to rebuild. I don't think in the NFL there are timelines like that. If you have a quarterback, at least, and a head coach. And he was asked at his press conference today, Doug Peterson was asked the comparison between the 2016 Eagles, which is when he took over there, versus the 2022 Jaguars, because he kind of compared them when he took the job. And the question was in terms of how the team looked as his first year taking over the team. And he said, we're ahead here of where we were then. So
he took that team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Eagles were 7-9 the first year that he started with them, and then the second year, I don't know if it was second or third that he went to Super Bowl.
Second.
Wow. So Super Bowl is probability, which Eric and I are kind of in a conundrum here because we bought cruise tickets for Super Bowl week.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
and the idea was. So it's the first night of the cruise is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea is to watch the Super Bowl on the cruise.
Yeah.
It's probably not the Jags. Obviously, going into the season,
going
into
the season,
Jags.
like we ain't winning that shit.
So
we're going.
It'd be a ton of fun to watch Bills and what do we think back then? Probably
Bucks,
Rams.
Yeah.
Now maybe Eagles. How much fun would it be to kick off a cruise watching the Super Bowl?
All right.
And that was the idea. But now, I wouldn't be mad to blow $800 on if that means the Jaguars are going to Super Bowl that I blow.
You skip the cruise?
Yeah, I would have to skip the cruise. I would have to
be
only because of the parade. I wouldn't mind watching it
for
there
the chance of winning.
Yeah,
I can't miss the parade.
Yeah. And that would suck if I don't go on the cruise and we lose. And why are we talking about this?
It's all right.
Just think Super Bowl.
Just think you could just think of that as like $800, like
that's
on your
worth.
Super Bowl ticket.
Yeah,
like going to the Super Bowl.
That's what it's worth to me.
I agree with you.
For us making the Super Bowl.
And to not piss off anybody, not saying that we're going to the Super Bowl.
I think I did say that.
We're 2-1. We're not saying, hey, we're the Jags.
I'm just saying
we're saying we have Super Bowl plans in place. And if that happened by chance, it could happen.
Good chance. I'll say that.
If it happened,
we're a top 5 team in the league right now. So
currently, yes. So if it happened,
if you're counting the last 2 weeks,
then we would cancel the cruise.
Count the last 3. Okay.
Because we cannot be in the middle of the ocean missing a Jags parade after our first Super Bowl ever. That we'd get.
Where would the parade happen?
We'd get killed online if we were
right on the parade down Hendricks.
Yeah, Hendricks Ave. Also, the reason the cruise is booked because at the tail end of the cruise, I'm turning 30. So I'll take the 30 birthday parade or the cruise. I'm happy either way. So I definitely cancel it if the Jags win the Super Bowl.
Anyway, back to the game, game analysis.
Back to week 4.
And get off the Super Bowl talk for a second. Questions I have for this game Sunday is one of them: do the Jags run the Philly special? Wouldn't that be cool? Just that, even if it was as a maybe like a nod from Doug Peterson or like a joke, I could see them just running the Philly special on like when they get down to the 2.
What if it's like for the game?
Yeah.
Philly special for the game.
They had to rename it the Duval special.
Yeah.
So
do that.
I hope that happens, and I hope it works. But I feel like Philly also would be prepared.
Be ready for that.
Yeah. Does James Robinson score a touchdown for the 4th week in a row? Just the steal that I got him in fantasy is just robbery.
I just don't know what to feel about this game because of Philly's very good run defense, and we have James Robinson. I can't see him getting stuffed.
Well, when I see us fail to do anything in offense, then I'll be worried.
Yeah, but week 1 that happened, and we fought back and had the lead by 8. So maybe don't worry just yet and let the game play out because we're different this year.
Yeah,
so watch
100%.
differently.
I totally watch differently. You wait till we get to the game pick. Devontae Smith, who's on the injury report with a back.
Because he had to carry them last game. Boy, that ain't a serious injury.
I hope he has it back.
Is he going to moss Tyson Campbell? Because, Tyson Campbell has struggled, when it comes to finding the ball when he's on a receiver. While Tyson's always there. It's just the ball location. Does Trevor finally throw a pick after 2 weeks? Hopefully not. But
ooh, Darius Slay back there.
Yeah. Does Slay make a play?
Ball
and
hawk.
do Jags fans leave with Doug Peterson's statue if we win? A lot of talk about that on Twitter.
Have to be in the middle of the night because Philly fans will probably jump you.
Eagles fans really love Doug Peterson. One of the questions was going to be, do they boo Doug? But I don't think
there's
going to be even a chance for them. Like, when do you boo? It's not like he's going to be a quarterback coming out on the field. There was a post on Eagles Reddit that got a bunch of upvotes and a bunch of comments in favor of it. And the post says, I loved the boos for Carson Wentz this week. That being said, I hope we get a thank you, Doug chant going this Sunday, even if we have to give him a few boos while we're at it. So I think it'll be all love for Doug.
This is probably the most excited I am for an away game this season because we have Doug Peterson and it's their former coach. And it's just better that the Eagles are good as fuck, undefeated, because I'm selfish and I think good content will come from being in that stadium surrounded by Eagles fans with Doug Peterson as our coach, of course. So,
and a lot of people have the Eagles as the best team in the league, and if we win,
it's just like last week.
But last week it was a little different.
We're sitting here, Chargers. If we win, boy, are we gonna be stupid.
Media still chalked it up as us beating an injured. They still thought it was impressive, but we still beat an injury-riddled Chargers team.
Hey,
and it was only 2 weeks in a row that we destroyed someone. And because I hate when I hear people laugh, because this week, listen to national media, talk shows, when they all say, Jags, careful now, they might be a sneaky contender for this division, and they chuckle. Like, the division's ass. The only reason you're laughing is just because the Jaguars have been so bad the last 10 years that would be weird seeing their logo at the top of the division at the end of the year.
Yeah.
They deserve the talk of them being the division winners without a chuckle, because they're head and shoulders based on performance above every other team in that division.
I was telling my barber today, if you can't tell,
yeah,
boy.
tell.
I was telling my barber today that if the Jags did beat the Eagles, national media is going to hate it because they're going to be forced to talk about them.
It's true.
And when you see that logo, you're automatically cringing because all you know associated with that logo is losing and terrible culture and all pessimistic things. So a Jags victory against the team that everyone is stroking their meat over we are going to be all in your face, and the world will hate it. But I hope that happens because it's just going to be fun for us Jags fans to look at all of you and just see all of you cringe and try to come up with excuses of why the Jags aren't good. You guys are going to keep doing it until they eventually lose to somebody or they make the playoffs and they get kicked out of it. That's how football works. You won't accept it unless you're someone with humility, or there's probably another better word for that. But you're not going to accept the Jags ever because that's probably just the type of person you are. But people like us here, like, we understand when teams are good, we give them credit. So if the Jags beat the Eagles, you got to give them credit. I don't want to hear anything from anybody talking shit about them because you are hyping up teams right now. 3 weeks in, you got to do the same for the Jags. I don't care if they're the Jags. We would have deserved it, beating the Chargers, beating the Eagles. If Devontae Smith doesn't play, which he will, but if he didn't, that's not even an excuse for why they would have lost. So don't give me that shit.
For the second week in a row, NFL media analysts all picked the Jags competition. Last week it was all Chargers except for Maurice Jones-Drew. This week it's all for the Eagles except for Maurice Jones-Drew. So we'll see if he goes 2-0 on his coworkers. Two weeks in a row on his coworkers.
Oh, what do we want to do? Because the line dropped to 6.5. Want to take that one instead since we haven't picked it yet?
Yes. Got to always follow the line. A Pennsylvania bettor put up $1.5 thousand on the Jaguars to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
The potential win in that is $52,500. That wouldn't be a bad place to put the money you have left over from your Prizepicks wins.
Yeah.
Speaking of Prizepicks, do you have any Prizepicks entries on this game?
Not this game yet. I'll probably wait till the weekend, but I just have
Don't we have to do one
Thursday,
for
Friday.
YouTube? Do we have to do one for YouTube or no?
I mean, we just have to mention them.
Oh. All right. Well, if you want to place an entry on Prizepicks for the Jags game, let me read you some lines for the Jaguars players.
Trevor Lawrence, 245.5 pass yards.
He's ready for that. So 245.5 for Trevor.
More or less.
I'd say more. No.
I say less.
Tough.
I think this is going to be a defensive game.
Interesting.
I don't think it'll be a shootout. Both these defenses are good.
The Eagles defense is good.
Are both of these defenses better than their offense? I'd say so. Well, maybe not Eagles, but both defenses are pretty good. So I think we might see a lot of what we saw in the first half of the Chargers game.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I would go with less. I'm really interested to see how Lawrence does in this game and coming off the best 2 games of his career.
Yeah.
Its stats have shown that Trevor hasn't been
Be good.
so
Better be a good stat.
Sorry. Trevor hasn't looked so good under pressure so far in his career. But when he has a clean pocket, he's fantastic. But when he's faced with pressure, he hasn't been so far. And the Eagles defense, they're 3rd in the league in quarterback knockdowns and quarterback pressures. So that's not a recipe for him to.
And that's why this is a big test for him.
That's why I'm very
I think
interested to see how we're going to do.
It's huge.
We're going to know a lot.
Yeah.
I think we're going to know a lot after this game about Trevor. Because he is having a hell of a 2-week run, but the pressure has not been there like it was in week 1. So,
and that's a credit to the offensive line, but yeah, you're not going to get a clean pocket every game, especially against good defenses like Philly.
Yeah, we're waiting to see that game from Trevor where he can focus under pressure and move the ball down the field. So
Zay Jones coming off a hot game. His more or less is 39.5 receiving yards. I want to go more on that one.
Maybe his receptions, because he's getting a lot of catches, like short yardage receptions.
Yeah.
And then James Robinson is 52.5 rushing yards, more or less. I would go more on that.
For some reason, I think this is going to be a James Robinson day.
So if you guys want to play along on Prizepicks, download the app and enter the code Dunn and Drew. and they'll match whatever amount of money you want to deposit up to $100.
Yes, sir.
Lastly, we have to give our picks. So mine's easy. Jaguars, they not only are going to cover that spread, they're going to win the game and become the talk of the NFL for the week. They will enter top 5 team talk. I can guarantee you people will not put them over the Eagles in their rankings, but they will enter the conversation. They will definitely enter the playoff conversation finally. But to be 3-1 going home to play the Texans.
Oh my God.
The bank is.
I would be coming back from Philly on Monday to do this pod. My God, I'm having the Casa right here. I don't know what else I'll put on this table, but I'm gonna have
hopefully not Bud Light.
No, not that. Chill on that. It was free beer. I didn't buy it. Just brought it.
It's fine. I don't care if you drink it.
I feel like you're attacking.
Not you. I'm attacking the brand.
Okay.
Why?
It's just with all the options out there. It's just mid.
Okay.
I just brought one
can
from home.
If they want to sponsor, I'm a biggest Bud Light fan there is.
The Philly. That's what's there. My pick for this camera goes out. I think the Eagles win.
Yikes.
But Jags cover.
Here you go.
Just like last week, I'm doing the same thing because of all them reasons.
Don't get in a fight.
I won't fight.
You won't?
No.
You sure?
I haven't been drinking at away games like that because that's what makes me fight. Intoxication. Gotcha. I don't fight when I'm sober.
All right, guys. Can't wait. Let's win.
Yeah, let's win because then I won't even be mad about my pick. I just do it so I'm right. That's how I hedge my happiness, as Jack says.
I think that's soft, but
it's fine. I don't give a shit. Peace.